Hey guys, I know it's been a very long time since I posted a video, but this is my latest build. It's Banggood frame, I think. Most certainly it's a Banggood frame. It's a Cyclops 100. These are Sunny Sky R1106 motors, 6500 kV. And this is a F4 HGLRC stack that has 25 amp ESCs and the F4 board. You're gonna find all the parts in the description, so I'm gonna leave everything over there. I'm trying to make this build so I can fly, I'm guessing, around the house. I hope it will be okay. It has a built-in OSD, so I modified a bit of the camera I'm using. This is I think a gear-best camera that has a BTX on it. It's a 200 milliwatt one, and I identified the signal wire and cut it off, and I put the wires on it so I can pass it through the OSD. It's gonna be on 3S, and it will have XT30 connectors. I have a bunch of hardware here that I think this was part of the frame and the flight controller. Also, I forgot to mention something. I shortened the spacers on the bottom so everything would fit nice and tight, because the canopy is quite tight and it wouldn't have fitted correctly. Okay, that being said, FR Sky receiver and gem fan props. These are, let me check, 20-35, so 2 inches, 35 pitch, 3.5 pitch, and 4 blades, as you can see. Let's get to it. This is the first build I'm doing that's, I don't know, normal speed, so to speak. I've only done other builds that were fast forwarded. It's a pretty straightforward build because we have a 4-in-1 ESC, and that will help us. So I'm hoping it won't be too long, because the battery on my camera will go flat eventually, so that will not help also. Okay, don't actually know how to route these wires, but I'll give it my best shot. I think this would be plenty. You need to give the wires a bit of slack so you don't have any issues with vibrations and stuff like that. Just give them a bit of slack and it will all be okay. I'm also trying to put the wires in the order they come out of the motor. Sorry about that. So I think you can strip those by hand. Well, you can't. You don't need a lot of wire exposed to solder them on, because also the pads on these ESCs are pretty tiny. So that being said, don't need a lot of wire sticking out. Okay, this a bit more. Come on, you know you want to. Great, we're good. we're good with the first motor. Got some flux space here, but I don't know if I'll need that. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Also, I'm gonna start tinning the pads on the ESC because I'll also need those. Okay, that's 1. Don't want to give it too much heat because the FETs are so close to the pads, so don't want to heat those up too much. Like that. The flux also helps it not string so much, because you know when you use the solder too much, or you get it hot for a long time, it starts to get stringy, and it's not fun, and it doesn't help you with the build. I'm gonna need a pair of tweezers if I find one.
Eventually.
Okay, so getting back to business. Found what I was looking for, like a pair of tweezers. So I'll start with the innermost wire. I'll try to get this as neatly as I can, because this will kind of give me the order the other wires will go. So if you don't get the first wire neatly, you're gonna ruin all the others. Sorry if this gets a bit out of frame, because I want to short the I want a short wire from my soldering station, because it's quite a bit away, and I had to choose between good lighting and good soldering skills, and I had a bit to compensate with good soldering skills, but not good lighting, so I chose that. Come on. Okay. That's decent. Okay, that's good. So as you can see, that looks pretty nice. Okay, next. So I'm trying to get the channel back on track. I haven't posted a lot to start with, but I've fallen back even on that, so that isn't good for you know, how I'm trying to run my my stuff over here. And I will try to get it at a better pace and post more frequently, so you guys can have something to watch, and maybe I'm hoping I will post interesting stuff. I'll just skip this one for now, and I'll focus on the back one, so I can open the space up, so I can feed through the power lead. So these will have to bend over like that, pun intended, by the way. Something like that, and I'll try to solder them here. Okay, let's see. I think this should be enough, so we'll cut them right here. Okay, just strip them a bit, and we'll do the same thing we did on the front, meaning we'll get the we'll get them tinned up, and the same thing with the pads, and that's plenty. That thing is plenty because it will fit the pad nicely. And that's the problem with shooting stuff. You can't have none of this, garbage around. I'll have to check the schematic for the flight controller later to see where the input for the OSD is, and also for the RX receiver, because I have to admit I didn't check that before shooting the clip. So I have to do a checkup on that after. And you want to be careful because we have a resistor right here. Oh, sorry. My bad. We have a resistor right here, and you want to be careful because that is just in the way of the pad. So fortunately for me, I didn't hit that with solder, so it's all okay. I don't see it. Oh, there's one over here, and there should be one on this side, but I don't see it. No, the corner ones, the ones on this diagonal don't have a resistor right beside the FET, but the ones on this corners do. So this has a resistor right here, and this has a resistor right here. So they're both on the inside, so it's easy to find, but it's a bummer if you blob them with some solder. So just try to avoid that. My god, I'm always out of frame. Sorry about that, guys. Just bear with me, please. Okay, let's see. Okay. Also with the HGLRC stack, they come with very long 2mm screws that are all metal, so I would say it's a nice touch because I hate nylon screws breaking on me. Just have to retouch this pad because I really don't like how it looks. It's just my OCD kicking in. OSD, Jesus Christ. I'm so hooked on FPV, but because of the drones, and I'm literally talking gibberish. When I've heard the other people talking about filming and looking through the viewfinder to try and solder, I thought it was mumbo jumbo because it shouldn't be that hard, but it is. So when people say that stuff, believe them. It's not easy, man. I'm trying to get it as clean as possible and get stuff out of the way as much as possible because it's gonna get pretty crowded around here when I start soldering everything together. So this should be fine and dandy. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, we're almost there. Just have 2 more motors to solder, but After I'm done with these, just trying to solder them together, that's all. After I'm done with these, I'll be fine. It's nice that this this flight controller has a connector over here. This is the OSD chip. It's the Max 774. This is an AT7456. The original one was a Max 7456, I believe. It has a connector on the bottom that is epoxied, and I don't think it's going anywhere. And you have the other side of the connector on the ASCs, and it gets power and everything from the ESCs, so the 4-in-1 ESCs. And I believe it's not 5-volt, but battery capable. I don't know where the voltage regulator is. I believe this might be the voltage regulator for the 5-volt for the flight controller, but I may be wrong. It may be on the other side. I haven't really checked it that much to see for. I just liked the way it was built. It looks nice and tidy, and it's capable of 20. Oh, I did a bummer there. Okay. It's capable of 25 amps, which is more than these motors can handle. They have at Sunny Sky, they have these motors in 3 variants. It's the, if I'm not mistaken, 5500 kV, 6500 kV, and 8000 kV. So I got to the middle ground ones, which are 6500, which should be okay on 3S. I got some 3S batteries from Hobby King. They are the 450 milliamp hours batteries, and 3S, and they had the JST connector, but I don't know, don't trust that JST connector that much, so I switched over to XT30 and switched all the batteries to XT30, and also switched the I didn't switch anything else. Actually, I put an XT30 on those wires. Those are actually 20 AWG, I believe. No, it's 18 AWG wire. It's the same wire that comes with most ESCs, so that should be plenty heavy gauge. So you don't need any I believe it's lower gauge. Yeah, you don't need any lower gauge than this. No, actually higher. I don't know, man. I don't actually know. I'm a bit tired. It's been a full day at work, but I've been putting this off for some time. I firstly got the parts for the quad and didn't have any batteries, and since last week, I believe, or this weekend, no, last weekend, I had the batteries ready, and they came, but I was working on the 3D printer. That canopy actually is not printed by me. It came that way from Banggood, and it's pretty decent quality. So okay, we have 3 ESCs out of the 4 soldered. I will also solder now the pigtail for the battery, because afterwards we'll take these wires and feed them right over the pigtail, and we'll have little to none access to them. I hope you can see this. Well, I'll darken it a bit in post-production. Whatever. Okay. So that is one pad, and this is the other. So we have here, let's see, where is it? Okay, so we have on the bottom, it's the, okay, come on, focus, focus. Finally, thank you. We have the positive and the negative, so be careful with that. You don't want to fry your 4-in-1 ASC. It's a bummer. When you fry just one, it's okay. You may get a replacement, but the 4-in-1, it's very expensive and it's not worth it, man. I believe this wire is thinner. No, it's just, it seems thinner. The black one seems thinner than the red one. Maybe it's just because of the color. Or maybe this insulation is different thicknesses. Yeah, that could be. I don't know. Okay. Let's also get a battery and get a feel for this, because it's gonna be a pain afterwards to get it out of there, and don't want to go through that. So the battery is quite big. It will sit on the bottom here, and that is a bit too, I don't know, short. Well, it's not short, but it's, I don't like it. How am I gonna feed this through? I could feed it from the other side, but it's not enough space. So feed it from the front. No, the camera's gonna go there, so I won't have enough room. Could fit around here and just go to one side. Okay, I'll have to see if this will go. So get this out of the way. Okay, just put this on. So this is fine like that, but it won't go all the way. So maybe I'll need to just put it to one side, but I'll put it on the long side so it doesn't interfere with anything. So yeah, this will go underneath. I still need to figure out a way to mount the battery to the bottom of the quad, but I'm guessing an elastic or something like that can go through there, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so I'll go like that. So the positive is on the back side of the quad, so this will have to go like this. Okay, that's fine. This should work. I cut him a little bit longer because I actually didn't know how I was going to solder them, but you're better off having a bit extra wire to play with. And also this will come on the top like that. We'll sandwich that stuff down. So you have to give it a little playroom there. And also, if you check this out, maybe it can focus. Yeah, it's pretty decent. You have some connectors on the bottom and other connectors on the top, and this will be a pain to solder to. I hope it's fine. You have RSSI current here, RX3 buzzer, I think it's BB minus, and the 5-volt rail. Between the 5-volt rail and the BB minus is you're gonna have the buzzer, TX3, TX6, RX6, and on the top side VTX bat minus 5-volt camera minus again, and PPM DSMX for all you Spectrum guys, 3.3 volts also for all you Spectrum guys, S-bus minus and 5 volts. This is where I'm going to solder my my receiver, 5 volts minus and S-bus, the camera and the VTX will go here, and also they will connect to the 5-volt rail and the minus, because I'm pretty sure that that camera, let me check, this is the camera, I think. Is this it? No, that's something else. Okay, wrong box. I'll check it on the internet, but I'm pretty sure it's 5-volt capable. I don't think it can go larger than 5-volt. Put some little hot glue here. It just had a bit of epoxy on one side and nothing more than that. So it was a bit flimsy. The camera pressure fits into the frame, as you'll see a bit later. But yeah, it's a decent camera. I don't have nothing to complain about it. So let's move forward with that. I just turned my station back on. Soldering station, that is. Okay, so get these motor wires to right about here. Getting a bit back, and this should be good. Okay, let's cut them off here. Okay, like that. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, get these out of the way. I really want to fly this thing tomorrow, so better get it done tonight. It's like 12 a.m. so it's quite late. Tomorrow I'm going to work, so that will be fun. Took the liberty while I was off camera to pre-cut and solder the battery, the pigtail for the battery. So yeah, got that done. Yeah. Don't want to get this clip too long for you guys. I want to keep it under 30 minutes, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we just have to get this soldered up and the pigtail. As I was saying, we'll first need to get the pigtail done, and after that solder the motor wires. Okay, let's get that done now. So positive, negative, positive at the back. Okay, so one lead will go this way around the connector. So I guess at an angle like that, that should be fine. Okay. So you can follow my thought process. I was thinking that give me a second so I can focus on this thing. Okay, we're good. I was thinking that on this side, as you see, the connector is a bit offset to the back, so I was thinking that on the back side I have less space, so I would want to solder that first and then solder the negative on the other side, because this is, as you can see, it's easier to get to the pad as this is a bit sloped to the back. So getting that done. You always want to get the hardest connection first, and then you get the easier one, because the harder one is just harder to get to and get a nice clean solder joint. So if you get the solder joint on the one that's harder to get first, the other ones will seem a breeze. So because all wires are around the standoff, I'll get this one first, like that, and then I'll get the other two. Okay, so that's one. Come on. I'm so tired that my hands are starting to shake, so. Okay, that's good. And number 3. Come on. Come on, you sucker. Okay, just get it a bit soldered up, and then you can position it. Just get it soldered up so you can get your wires where you want them, in the vicinity of the place you want them, and then you can push them down, or you can direct them as you want. It's easier that way, so you can get the solder joint that you desire. Kind of a freak when it comes to solder joints. I just want to get them perfect. And also another thing that that bugs me is not getting the cleanest joints usually. You also have on DCSC, this combo, you have another 2 pads here for direct battery voltage, so you will get 3S. I think it's 4S capable, so that's nice. Okay, now we can get, I think we can get the stack, the flight controller on, because all I need is pads that are on the top. Maybe I would want to get the buzzer in this thing. Shouldn't be too hard to get. Give me a second. Should have one around here somewhere. If my camera doesn't die again. Just have batteries that are not fully charged, and I don't have the time or the patience to charge them fully, so yeah, it's also my fault, so sorry about the cutoffs. I promise on the next one I'll be better prepared for these kind of situations. Okay, I found the buzzers. Just have a lot of stuff around me that I don't actually need. Like I have some XT90 connectors, but haven't used them for anything. Just got them because they were cheap. Okay, so the distance between these legs is not that far away, but I don't think the buzzer would fit in the back. Maybe I should get a smaller buzzer. You know, there are some low profile buzzers that can fit in here. I think I'll fit another buzzer at a later time, so okay. Just pay attention to the connector so it fits correctly and you don't bend the pins. Okay, so we're good, and we can move forward with the build. I will pre-tin the pads I need. I'll need in the front, I will need the VTX one, because that will go to the VTX. You might wonder how I got I'm tinning the VTX minus 5 volts and camera pins, and also the pins for the receiver. So we have another minus, another 5 volts, and S-bus pin. Okay. I was saying that you might wonder how I found out which of the pins of the stack was the camera pin, the one that was sending the signal. Well, I didn't actually knew, but I checked with the multimeter. I checked on a different VTX that was running the same chip, and I found out that there is a bit of a resistance between the camera pin and the negative pin on the whatchamacallit, Okay, the negative pin of the VTX and the camera pin, the one you get the signal from. So the video in. So yeah, that's how we got to that. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Okay, so on the receiver we have this is a strange receiver because it has PPM S-bus. You bind the, I think it's a non-standard VTX TX RX. God damn it. Okay, we have the S-bus pads that we need to bridge. We have a ground, a VCC, and the S-bus. We have a S-bus and a PPM pins here. So if you, I'm guessing if you bridge the S-bus, you're gonna get the S-bus. If you bridge the PPM, you're gonna get PPM. So that's one thing to have in mind. Moving forward, what do I need? Okay, so I'm gonna need some 3 pins, a 3-pin wire that's already made, that's remotely 10, so I don't have to struggle with it.
12 seconds later.
Oh, yeah, I'm off camera. Figures I'm gonna be off camera. Okay, so S-bus. After you get the first wire, it's easier to manage them with the pair of tweezers. So just get the first one in place and then, okay, so 5 volts and ground and the signal pin. So we're gonna have to get this on the back side, I think. So something like this. I don't know how I'm gonna mount this here, because this is kind of the only place it would fit. Maybe if I lift the wires, put it beneath. Meh. I can do something like that. Let me see. So I'm gonna pull back the wires a bit. Get some double-sided tape. That. Cut a square out of it. I think that's decent. Okay. So we have that. We're gonna put that on top here. Come on. Move to the side. Okay. I think that's good enough. And just peel it back. This is some crazy stuff to do at 12 a.m. Yeah, so okay, the problem is I have my pads on the back, at least the only one that's, well, maybe I can go around that. So we have ground, VCC on top, and this is the S-bus. So maybe I can go like this. I can just just go like that and cut right about here. I think this will suffice our needs. Okay, let's clean up a bit. And this. Okay, we're good. Just cut a bit along the wire to get them started. And then you can just split them. Come on. Okay. So the VCC is on top. We have, actually it's not VCC, it's 5 volt. So it's 5 volt ground on bottom, and the signal is also on top. So I'll get just the signal for now. I'll get the signal because it's the farthest away. So I'll get the signal done, then I'll get the VCC, and after that, over everything, I'll get the ground to the other side. Let's just tin them a bit on this side so I can get a good connection. And also cut them a bit more because, you know, we don't need that long of wire. It's already tinned. Just give them a little bit of a touch. Okay. And also the ground pad. Come on, baby. Work with me. Yeah. So, that being said, you just need about this much wire. Don't need too much. So, I know you can't see that much, but we're gonna snip it here. So, got that much wire around. I'm sure that was off camera. Sorry for that. Just need to get better angle on things overall. See? Okay. Okay, so we have that exposed, and the problem with non-silicone wire is that once you hit it with heat, it retracts, the insulation on the wire retracts. So, and the more you keep the heat, the more it's gonna go back. Eventually it will stop, but you don't want to get there. So I'll just hold it down a bit and just try to give it a dab here. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, we're golden. So we have our first wire down. We need to get the signal right to this tiny pin over here. So that will be next. So this will go like that over there. So we need to cut a bit from this also. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, a bit more. And just be careful that all your loose wires and stuff like that just come off after you cut them, just get out of the quad and don't remain there stuck, because they might short out something. Though they are cut exactly to length, eventually they might short out something in the quad. I'm gonna get this a bit close so it's easier for both of us to see, or for all of us. Better yet. I'm just bending down the wire so it's easier to connect, and just holding it against the pad, hitting them up both, and we have a decent connection right there. It's okay, it's good. I can live with that. Okay. Okay, so these sloped a bit to the back side. I think I'm gonna put a bigger pad of foam tape under it, because you can see that the VCC, the 5 volt, if I push it down like this, eventually I think it will touch this if it loses its grip, and then I don't want to risk that, so maybe I'll hit it a bit more with some double-sided tape, foam tape that is. Okay, and that's the last one of this. I'll just cut it a bit longer like that. Just throw the excess away, strip it. Don't have to pinch too hard, because you're gonna pull the strands out of the wire. I've done this a lot of times, and sometimes I do it correctly, sometimes I don't. It's hit and miss. No, it's okay. So yeah, for now I'm gonna run it without a buzzer. Though that buzzer would have came in handy. So now that I cut it a bit long and it retracted after I heat it up, you see we have a bit of exposed wire there. So now I can cut it a bit more, and after that I can solder it to the pad, because especially with things like this, when you have a tiny bit of wire that is on the other side of your snips, and it may fall onto your FC, make sure it doesn't, so you don't have trouble in the future if that thing shifts around or you power it or something like that happens and you fry your board. Okay, so that's soldered all up, and we have a winner. Let's see if I can just press the bit back, and I have this excess of, I'm just gonna cut a tiny strip and do something that is quite necessary. It ain't gonna be pretty, but it will do the job. I don't need these pads, at least not yet, because these are the LED pads and the buzzer. So I'll just get a bit of foam tape, or double-sided tape that is, and just put it there and stick it down. At least I hope it sticks. God damn it. Come on. Stick. It doesn't quite stick. I think it's lost its properties because I've been handling it. I'll cut a fresh piece and just make it work. Okay. So I'm not touching it too much because I'm gonna get all the stickiness off it. I'm just gonna place it here and hope this time it will stick, because okay, yeah, we're good. This ain't moving nowhere. So yeah, just got a bit of that thing in there so it doesn't touch anything. Forgot to solder the cam pad. Okay. My god, my back hurts. Okay, so the next step will be It's always with the connector on the top. So the blue wire is from the camera and the yellow wire is from the VTX, so you have to remember that. Just pull back the antenna, stick it in, and you have to wiggle it around so it fits, but eventually it will go in. I've done this a couple of times with this setup, and it eventually gets in there pretty nice. And I was almost about to forget about something, but I'll show you in a minute what that is. Okay, it's almost in, and it's almost straight. Okay. Yeah, now we have it straight. It's straight, it's nice, it's good. Okay, so we'll get the power leads out of the way and just connect the antenna, so we don't have to think about that anymore. And the camera's slipping out. Okay, so we have the antenna connected, so that's another thing we don't have to think about. Okay, I almost forgot about something. In this bag I have, oh, now I remember exactly what the screws were for. They're the screws for the motors, because I have no props on, and they will need some screws to hold them on. And these are the tiny nuts that will hold on your FC. That will show you in a bit what I did to lower the distance between the 4-in-1 and the bottom plate. Well, you don't have a top plate, so it is the only plate there is, actually. The canopy is held on by nylon screws, but I think you can change that if you want to. It's not mandatory, but it's doable because they are 3mm screws, so it can be done quite easily. Okay, haven't powered yet this setup, so I don't know how all will fare, but I hope it's all okay. I'll just use my tweezers to tighten this up a bit. Just get them snug. Don't need too much pressure on these because they're just there to hold your FC from flying away. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, we're quite a way. Okay, so the last thing we'll have to do is solder this babies up and solder these ones. I'll guess the same length of wire will do, so you won't get snagged on anything, and they will be able to tuck on the top of the flight controller, whatnot. So, as I was saying, the blue wire is from the camera and the yellow wire is from the VTX. So, I have to remember that. And I will cut these right about here. I think it's okay. Okay, we'll put these aside, and this Okay, so we're almost there. Let's strip these. Yeah, for silicone, these are silicone wires, so yeah, I don't think you need snips or things like that, but it's a good thing to have around. So almost there, almost there. Come on, you can do this. Okay, that's done. That's done. These will have to be shortened a bit because the exposed part of the wire is kind of long. Okay. See, I had a bit of wire on my hand, so just trying to get it off and away from the board, because if I get it on, it's going to be a nightmare to identify it and see where it is. And it's more of a nightmare if you have conformal coating and it's not 100% dry. If you have that, it's just a pain. It's a pain to find it and take it out. If you have conformal coating, it's the chances are less than if you are not conformal coated that you will get a short, but it's good practice to just take it off, so you don't have, in case you have a spot that is not conformal coated properly, it will. Okay, so as I was saying, if my camera doesn't shut off because it runs out of battery, it shuts off because it heats up, so it enters a protection mode and it stops the recording. So yeah, so it's almost done. I plugged the battery in and it didn't explode, so it looks nice. It's cool. I like it. I'm gonna have some trouble mounting the battery to this bad boy, but where there's a will, there's a way. We'll find some way to do that. Just have to set it up, put some props on it, and take it for a spin. Well, that will happen tomorrow because it's too late now. And also I have 2 left off of these, and I will explain now what I did to mount the stack. Is I took a cutter or an X-Acto knife and just placed it on the table and cut it exactly in half. So I made, from 2 of these I made 4, so that's where the extra 2 came from. That being said, that's pretty much it. I need the latest Betaflight on it, soldered the wires accordingly, and I hope I'll get this as soon as possible out and to you guys, and hope this helps. Thanks for sticking on with me through this build. I think I'm gonna modify a few things. I don't know exactly what. Maybe I'll drill a small hole here and poke this antenna out so it's not in the prop line, so I don't chop it off. And I don't know yet how I'm gonna mount the battery, but I'll go on the internet. I hope, actually I'm sure some guys have figured this out, and I hope I can find them so I can get some inspiration on how to get it done. Thanks for sticking on, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.